tweet about it. Frick.
Yeah, people
Now I
subscribe
have to do the marketing.
If
Damn.
people subscribe and turn notifications on, they wouldn't have to. Oh, by the way, you could schedule this like hours beforehand.
I know, but if we went live at 7, my camera would have kicked on and there would have been nothing here. None of us were ready until 7:30.
I mean, you
Speak
can go
for
live
yourself.
whenever you
I have
want,
to
even
find
if
a
it's
place to do
after
this.
7 p.m. You decide when that live button happens.
You can start the opening. I'll give us an opening.
Like an anime opening?
Like a DBZ last time on DBZ.
I expect a full music.
I mean, you can do that at any point now. We've been rolling for about a minute.
Wait. Alrighty, everyone. Last we left off, this glorious band of misfits that are still arguing about their name. Apparently, the Bareknuckle Curriers.
Yeah.
Was the thrown out.
That's what I agreed on.
Our gang found themselves at a little bit of a lull after running into some issues coming into Emon. After delivering a package to a one Kima, or excuse me, Lady Laura from Lady Kima, you found yourselves with a little bit of the next day. You decided to go shopping, get some much needed armor, a couple of weapons, and items to help along the way. During that time, you were preceded upon by a woman in distress, seeming to have giant rats in her basement, and she was terrified. Our gang came to the basement and came to a basement full of blink spiders.
Those aren't rats at all.
Confused.
I was the only one.
Confused, our team went in to go and attack, noticing that most of their attacks couldn't hit. The more they seemed to attack, the more the spiders seemed to envelop them and attack. Having realized that this was an illusion, Torla shook off the effects of these toxic spores known as devil spore. After tearing through the basement and waking friends of the nightmare that was the spiders all over them, they were able to claim about 4 handfuls of the mysterious devil spore mushrooms, and from there they earned a 50 gold reward from Shara Reblas. And that's where we ended the last game.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
Jar red block.
Yeah, you got 2.
So, upon that entire quest happening, Norvar was off on his own, diving into some potential leads that he got from the previous establishments when he was shopping. Upon finding a suitable target, he had worked his mysterious ways with a shady vendor or two, and found out that potential Thieves Guild locations might be around an inn called the Debt's Respite, out in the, I believe it was the water of, I have the name of it, give me a minute. That's on me.
Oh, I never got water.
It was in the cemetery district. It's north of the cemetery district in the upper slums.
I'm gonna go do the water getting. I'll be right back.
It was on the outer edge of the city. Just that found, we find ourselves opening up our adventure. What would you guys like to do?
Exit the house with the gold and
Well, she hands over the 50 gold pieces. Oh, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. I don't know why you guys saw spiders, but I'm glad you've taken care of it. Please,
Happy
please,
to do it.
Those rats sure were
for a cup of
scary.
tea. The day is yours. You've left the house. You've gotten the gold. What would you like to do?
Well, I rolled a 7, but we shall
Yep.
see what.
You'll find that out later.
oh,
Um,
joy.
I guess I want to do my shit now.
Sure. What do you have on your plate, Norbar?
An errand to run.
Okay.
I don't know whether I should check to see if I trust them or not to bring them on this.
You.
I cast Hellish Rebuke.
Oh wait, is Toblin with us at this point?
I'm with somebody.
Yeah, he's with us at this point, yes.
Oh, okay. Um,
Ooh, someone's echoey.
Yaka, hang up on Republican.
Restart. Is that better?
No.
no, because you're still in here twice. Leave one of them.
Alright.
You dingus.
That's better.
What a
now
I
you're-
dimbus.
just muted it for the server. You're welcome.
We apologize for the technical difficulties.
No, we don't.
Hey. He hung up. He hung up the other one.
The one he needed.
Alright. Yeah.
Genius.
So I'll leave him back unmuted if he talks, but
His character makes so much more sense now.
Gentlemen, I normally wouldn't ask this of anyone, but if you wish to aid me on this errand, it may make things more efficient.
I need a
I
bigger
don't wanna.
desk. I mean, Rob?
Alright, very well. If there isn't any other objections.
Away!
Wait a minute. The paladin gonna have anything to object to here?
Away? Question mark?
I was thinking that maybe I would see if there was a chapter house for my own, but I don't think that's likely to be in on.
Tell you what. I need to go to a temple anyway, pay my respects, so on and so forth. Why don't you and I go do that, see if we can root around for directions to your chapter house. Do you need all of
Okay.
us for the errand?
No.
Bo bo ba ba bo.
You'll have our giant magic friend, your little feathery magic friend,
What?
and that very bizarre stabby head of yours, which is surprisingly effective.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't believe you'll need us to, we'll let you handle whatever you need to handle.
Very
That
well.
sounds reasonable.
Speaking of, where is our giant friend?
But
Oh, there he is.
That's about right. Where's our giant friend? Huh? What?
right here.
What say you to this bargain? You are our fine feathered friend will help will help Norovar in whatever errand he has to run that he needs to play so close to the vest, and Torla and I will go off to temples and see if we can get some information of our own for our own things.
It depends. Will there be glory on this errand?
Yes, of sorts.
I'm in.
I'm gonna write that down. Glory of sorts.
All right, so it sounds like me and the druid are going to go look for my chapter house, temple or two, and then the rest of you are on Novar's errand.
Mhm.
Because I do not have your chapter information on your stuff, can you send that to me in the Discord channel so I can take a look at it again? Just to make sure I have the proper things set up for us.
Yeah, hold on. I just made up a name, so I didn't even know if you needed something. But give me
I
a
can
second.
make I can build it based off of something I had in mind, if you prefer.
Well, I had some, but I just need to find it first because I did a lot of reorganizing again. So
But it's no big deal.
did I sent you, but Novar's errand first, and then I'll do what I need to do.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Um.
Yep.
So we're gonna head off to the Mitz Gambit because that's how I would have remembered the name.
It's Gambit.
Mhm.
All right. So
Norvar
you-
would not exactly remember the name of the thing, which is one of the reasons why he has kept Toblin with him.
There it is.
So
Before I
you
have
guys could, based off of where you guys are heading, you guys could keep in contact with each other because you're kind of close to the Temple District, and the Cemetery District is kind of what butts up against where you're heading.
Mhm.
The Temple District is where they'd probably find Chapter House. So you guys are gonna go ahead and walk along through Abadar's Promenade, through the Military District, and then across through the Temple District. It'll take you about probably a couple hours. It's a big city.
Sick.
So you guys will head over that way.
Cool.
So as you're walking through the city, you see the houses, tons of people, mostly humans, smatterings of some dwarf, a couple of elves. You've seen a halfling or two. As you get closer to the Temple District, you start seeing a little bit more diverse crowd. You start seeing tieflings. You start seeing Azamar. You start seeing what's the name? Yuan-Ti. So you start seeing Yuan-Ti. You even see lizard men. Typically, they don't have a well-known communication here, but apparently they do come in to pay respects here. And there is a truce of arms in the Temple District, it appears, where normally factions you think would be fighting against each other all come into this place as a sacred ground. I do not come with ill intent. You see temples to Pelor. You see temples to Bahamut. So you have. Yeah, I actually have one of these written out for us.
Okay, so apparently I don't know where I put it, so we're just gonna have to make something up and go along as we head in, because I have no idea where I put it now.
So,
But
your
But,
particular style, I believe, was based off of the Law Bearer, if I'm correct. So
the Stormlord, yeah,
the Stormlord. You were the Stormlord. Okay.
yeah, because I'm a paladin of war, not a paladin of justice.
Okay, so you are the Stormlord.
I'm a paladin of sleep.
Get out of my life.
So you have temples to the Wild Mother Laura, the Platinum Dragon, the Knowing Mistress. But strange, of all of them, Knowing Mistress doesn't seem to have a very big presence. In fact, they don't even have a temple. You only know about the Mistress based off of your common knowledge around the pantheon of gods and. I'll go right. So, you do find towards the entrance heading into the military district, there is a building. In front of the building, you can see people gathered around. It is from what you see, it seems to almost be a group of people circled around. And as you get closer, you can start seeing a little bit more of the structure. It's almost a pit in the ground. On the ground, it's a kind of tossed around dirt floor, packed down through various footprints, and no grass is around there, but it is wet, stained with some kind of fluids. And you can see two people going in unarmed combat at each other. You can hear the crowd going, "Yes, get him!"
Is he saying something?
Hmm?
Is Andrew saying something?
Yeah, he cut out.
Oh,
Do you still hear me?
now
I
I
can hear
can.
you now.
All right,
Yeah, we hear you now.
switching to a more reliable.
all I heard was you can be like, "Hmm," and then you were cut off.
Am I like invisible now?
No, you're good.
Okay.
All right, so you can see people cheering on. Yeah, hit him! Get him right in the face, goal! You got it! I believe in you! And you can hear the fighters like, no, he's gonna take him down! He's been in there for too long! Just people cheering and fighting, having a good time. This seems to almost be more of a sport than a temple. At this location, you can see towards the back of the establishment, a little further past this ring, there is a broad pillared, Romanesque pillars coming up almost to a perfect, what's the word? A perfect Roman pillar topped pergola? No, pergola isn't the right word. Temple. We'll just go temple.
Okay.
Beautiful columns, hand carved with intricate patterns going up them, all depicting reliefs of war, of battle, of glory, all around. That's where it leads into a pretty open chamber, big metal braziers, lit a flame, uh, essentially illuminating the entire inside cavity. Uh, Inside, you do have a carving, um, 20 to 30 feet in height, full statuesque image of Cord, surrounded in his classic dragon scale armor from the dragons he's taken down. Uh, the colors all around: red, green, black, blue, white. All 5 colors ingrained in his armor. And there beside him is his trusty great hammer.
Gulp.
Doesn't he pick a different flavor?
And there is your temple.
Nice. Excuse me.
As you guys are walking by, you hear people shouting, "Who wants to take on this next challenger? 150 gold for whoever can beat him."
I slowly look at both the paladin and our friend the giant.
I don't fight for sport.
I look at the giant.
I fight for sport.
Yeah, he
That's
does.
more like it.
Oh boy.
That's unfortunate.
Okay, I'm going to head towards the statue and go take a knee and sort of say a quick prayer.
Our Father.
You son of a bitch.
I don't think that's how it works.
So you'll go in and commune with your god. Do you want to hang around him, Isaac, and let the rest of the group go on their way?
I'll hang around with him, yeah, and then I should probably go search out the temple of my goddess.
It's Melura, if I'm correct, the Wild Mother. Yep. So there is a temple to Melura in this district, relatively easy to find. So you can ask a few locals that are walking by. They'll be able to point you in the right area of the district. So none too hard to find.
Excellent.
So we'll let you guys do your thing there. Norvar, would you like to continue leading your crew?
So, is it just me and Tolan now that Alkin has gone?
No, I'll stick with you.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't sound like he was going into the pit, so.
So we're going to the what Nespit?
The Death's Respite.
Death's Respite.
Here, I'll put it in.
It only makes sense that I can't recall the name because Norvar would not remember the name correctly.
Oh, debts. Okay.
Death's
Clever.
Respite. I'm gonna head towards the Death's Respite.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the first one. I said the Mitz Gambit.
That's why I was real confused.
Sounds like
Alright.
probably nothing.
I didn't remember, nor would Norvar.
You're on character. It's okay.
Yep. It was kind of the point.
Alright.
Yeah, so we head towards the respite.
So, seeing as you guys are heading to this location, you guys will be exiting the city, or the city walls, into the upper slums
Okay.
of Emon. So you do pass by a couple of guardsmen. What's your business outside the city?
Is the Death's Respite? It's a side thing question. Is the Death's Respite, was that a tavern or was that something else?
Yes, it is a tavern.
Okay. We're just looking to get a drink.
Plenty of places in the city to get a drink. Where are you heading?
Well, I heard that the place that we were going to is sort of top of the line in these parts. The Death's Respite.
Sure, top of the line. uh, sure. Be our guest. Head right on over. We won't stop you.
Very well. Good day, gentlemen. I'm just gonna keep walking.
Be seeing you. Maybe.
Maybe.
Alright, so you make it out of the gates. Kind of maybe a little bit unnerved, based off of the reactions of the guards, but you head off on your way and head into the upper slums. From there, it's relatively easy to find most of the
Establishments.
points of interest in the slums, as most of what you see now are a little bit of shanty towns, really piecemeal together to hobble together what mediocre life can be had out here. Small little farms, little buildings with their own, livestock kept next to the house. It seems to be very poor. The squalor and the people there look just as hardy and tough as you'd expect in any place like this. Moving on, though, you can see in the southwestern side of the lower slums, a building stands out, a little bit different from the rest. Instead of these hobbled together little one-story homes that are barely standing, you can see prominently a ramshackle 3-story inn in the distance. What sticks out is the sign. You see a debtor holding out his hand to someone dropping a coin into it. Almost as looking up and out of the way like, here you go, peasant.
Steve.
And there it is gilded in what almost appears to be gold and silver, but upon closer inspection, as you get closer, it is a brass and copper inlaid sign with highly polished iron.
Cool. Let's go in.
Upon entering, you're in this establishment. It is a cabaret style, so you have a central bar with its own access point, or a doorway to the back, where it probably hosts the kitchens where they make the food. But you have about 10 or 15 different tables, about 15 seats at the bar, a couple of booths in the corners. When you walk in, the first thing that hits you is the smell. You thought outside smelled bad. In here, it smells like there's been nothing but fighting, killing, and fucking. It is an interesting permeation of scents. From there, you can see sitting at the bar one halfling passed out face first at the bar. You see a tall human male, a scar down his eye, not going into the eye, but down the bridge of the nose and then around and down his face, avoiding the eye. He is a little bit gray in the beard, a grizzly-looking gentleman, relatively well built, wearing a leather apron, holding a glass in his hand, or flagon, as it were, and rubbing a cloth in it as he cleans it out.
Well, that's the toughest looking barkeep I've ever seen.
And then around the bar, you can see clusters of people taking mind to their own conversations, but cloaks up, keeping their own, and making sure no one's looking out for what they're doing. They seem to enjoy their privacy, as it were. What do you want to do?
I am going to challenge the barkeeper. Feats of strength.
Oh no.
I'm having a hard time getting over the smell. Because typically, myself smells pretty bad. And I'm sure Norvar smells, sometimes. But, like, yowza.
I'm trying to think if the smell is worse than what I'm used to.
Right. I mean, if
I've been
we
used
go
to
with
some shit.
if we go with my supposed to be canon backstory, this should be pretty close to home.
And I'm a very determined individual right now because I'm on task.
The smell doesn't bother you too much, Noravar, just because you're so determined. And Toblin, regarding your past and how things have gone, the only thing that really sticks out for you is just that rough smell of human bile and essentially the scent of sheets that weren't cleaned after they were soiled by promiscuous activities of
Oh,
the
good.
lady variety.
Oh, all right.
It is pungent and off-putting.
All right. Fair enough.
Shit. Jake went to the barkeep before I could.
Jake, you're walking up to the barkeep. What would you like to do? What would you like to say?
Hey there, hardy man.
Hello yourself. What can I get you?
I'm not so interested in cursory food stuff. I noticed that you seem to be a toughened individual. I'm bored. I challenge you to an arm wrestle contest.
But I've been doing this a lot longer than you think. I don't know if that's so wise.
Can I
What-
cut in and convince Alkin to, not right now?
Roll a
Good.
persuasion check.
Do it.
I'm gonna go to Alkin and say, we need to stay on task. The errand. The glory. Fuck. Would you say persuasion?
Yeah.
Wow, that +7 really saves me. 11.
Jake, roll a
So,
no, do a. If you're gonna try and convince him to let you do what you want to do, I do intimidation.
oh boy.
Or you can roll persuasion if you're trying to be like, but I wanna.
10.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, goddamn.
So, he beats you.
I just kind of root my arm.
So
off.
I'm gonna turn to the barkeep and I'm gonna say, good sir, I'm trying to figure out how to put this because, like, I should know how to put this because of my backstory, but, like, I don't at the same time. Because I want to be discreet about it, but not give too much away. I'm looking for a
Notes,
very
right?
certain group of individuals. And I was told by a lovely lady in the market that this might be the place to look.
Let's look for a lot of people. A lot of people come in, a lot of people go out. Sorry.
Suddenly from New York.
I know, it's just like realizing, wait. Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of people come in here, a lot of people leave. What's it to you? I'll give you one thing. You seem pretty smart stopping your friend over there. I'd hate to damage his pride.
Yes, he likes to challenge things a lot. I'm actually, and I'm gonna kind of like lean in so I don't have to say it too loud, but I'm gonna say I'm looking for a group known as the Class.
The bartender looks at you dead in the eye, and just kind of, I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of the group. Is that like an adventuring band?
How
What are you talking
close?
about?
How close am I to them?
I mean, as close as you want to be.
I am uncomfortably close.
To
Both of them. I'm like right in the middle.
okay. So
And
you hopped up on a stool,
Each
and
between our faces.
I'm just like,
and he whispers that, and I go, the clasp. Because I feel like Norvar would have done the whole like I start to scream and he like punches me.
I wanna check to see if the bartender is doing the same thing that the lady did in the market. So do I make a insight check for that?
you can roll an insight check.
Okay. Don't have the best insight.
How well did you take notes of the last time we played?
Well, since Norvar has ADHD, none.
Oh, and since Toblin wasn't there, none.
Correct. But I did roll an unnatural 20, so. I remember the encounter, I just don't remember all the key details.
Yeah, that's so. Kind of looking at him, and he kind of whispering it in, and Toblin inserting his face. You can see, based on your insight, he's definitely being a little bit reserved.
Okay.
He probably knows something more, but you can't quite tell. It's almost starting to get a little uneasy.
Sure. Okay.
You kind of recall that the clasp is not something that likes to be public.
Yeah.
They like to keep to the shadows, and being asked directly about it typically throws off some flags for them.
That's why I want to be discreet, but I have like no other way to describe.
Has Norvar told this to me that they like to be discreet and be in the shadows?
Have you, Norvar?
How long have Toblin and I been together prior to the campaign start?
I was gonna go with a couple of months, maybe longer.
Considering the errands that I've been running since I left my town, I think Toblin knows. I don't think I picked up Toblin and like ceased for a while, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to do a typical me thing, and I'm gonna hop off the stool and then walk over to like a corner that's really shady and be like, the clasp. It's
You can't see my face palm right now, but it's there. I say to the bartender, I say, I need to know because I have urgent news for them. The Mad Hatter is coming for them, and I want to warn them as soon as possible.
Persuasion check with disadvantage.
Shit. Come on, baby, roll high both times. Fuck. 11.
He kind of crosses his arms and he sets down his glass that he was cleaning, crosses his arms and says, "Well, I have no business with them. What makes you think I do? In fact, you best order a drink or two, or I'm gonna have to ask you to leave." He's definitely shutting down a little bit from what you tell, since you guys can't see what I'm doing.
From the way that he pronounced it, Toblin hears it and goes, "Make like a tree."
I'm gonna turn to Skywatcher and said, "Buddy, you haven't had a drink in a while. Would you like a drink?"
Yeah.
Very well. Please give this man your finest ale.
Olay.
5 gold.
5 gold? Very well. That's an easy picking for me. And I flip him 5 gold.
Catches it, puts it on the table, pulls out a relatively large pitcher, and sets a glass in front of it and slides it up. Enjoy.
When Kyle.
What?
What?
What did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
Said I like this plan. I want to drink the whole thing.
How much does your character weigh? All right. Or 7.
Hold on. 300 pounds.
Height?
Height? 8 feet tall.
Good answer. All right, so
Truly a Goliath.
we'll get to go there.
Skywatcher's 8 feet tall, standing next to a 5'5" half elf.
and a 5-foot bird.
You're kind of hitting the ceiling almost with your head. Like you, in certain areas in the bar, Jake, you do kind of have to duck.
Is there a chair I could borrow? This is getting uncomfortable.
The bartender looks up and says, "I can do you one better." Waves over to the one of the barmaids, and she kind of looks at him and understands and overlooks your group and points you over in a direction and drags a bench over. So it doesn't have to be a small hipped chair that you wouldn't fit in.
Perfect. Sit and drink the whole thing.
I'm gonna turn to Toblin and say, "You look a little uneasy. Do you want a drink?"
Hungry.
Ah, he's hungry. Do you have any food that you could offer him?
We got bread. Got a couple of nice meals. If you're willing to spend the extra coin.
Being a bird, Toblin like tweaks at the sound of bread.
Could I get a whole loaf for him, please? Actually, make it 2 loaves if you have them.
Hungry,
Right.
hungry.
It's 2 gold apiece.
Jesus. Alright, I flip him 2 gold.
All right. Takes it and waves over to the barmaid going in and out the back. Says, "We're gonna need 2 of the hot loaf. Bring them up." And
Birds don't drool, but I totally am.
Uh,
um,
so much like you get in restaurants before your meal, like places like Outback where they give you this whole little loaf, you're getting that, but an entire little cauldron of butter. Uh, and next to it, it does have some jams and jellies on the plate. And it is a warm loaf of freshly baked bread.
I go to town. You know I go to town.
Yep.
And I'm also like chirping and cawing at random moments of just, you know, ecstatic pleasure over this bread.
Yep. And then Jake, you're probably a couple cups in. Why don't you roll me a D100?
Uh-oh. This can't end well.
D100. Rolling. 20.
Oh no.
Rest in pieces.
Hey. This is gonna be fun.
Oh fuck.
Someone's gonna lose their teeth.
This is a specific brand. Inside the ale, it almost has a greenish purpley tinge to it.
It's a worm.
I'm gonna need you to roll a con saving throw.
Cool.
Don't tell me this is that tequila spike.
My saving throw, so. D20.
Mm-hmm.
Roll. Unnatural 23.
Right. You kind of twinge a little bit, but you kind of shiver it off. Be like, huh, it was kind of weird. Still tastes good. Kind of leaves your mouth a little tingly, a little bit numb. But it's pretty damn good.
Drink.
All right. So you keep drinking that. You go into town on bread.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Since you are ADHD, my friend, why don't you go ahead and roll me a D100 yourself?
me.
On a 50 and above, we'll go ahead and give you a little memory blast to remember what was mentioned to you.
78.
My man's about to be Jimmy Neutron.
Got a blast. So as you're sitting there taking a couple of bites, watching Toblin just go to town on this spread, just it's almost as if he hadn't eaten in a week and he was just given some kind of food. He is going out with a veracity you don't want to get interfere with.
Mhm.
But you take a bite, put some nice little butter on it, and you go to take a bite, and then as you bite into the bread, you kind of look up. Clarity has ensued. You remember the conversation? She told you to say something. What was it? It was something about gifts, about many. I come bearing many gifts.
Brain blast.
Stands out to you. And then the last thing she said is, "You didn't hear it from me." And your memory fades as you continue to chew on this delicious piece of bread.
Okay. Now with that recollection, I am gonna go up to the barkeep and I'm going to say, I really want to apologize for earlier. I really should have cut straight to the point, but I come bearing gifts.
That's so.
Yes.
maybe you should knock on that door over there and show what you have. And he points over to a door, not seeming like it's the kitchen, but a little bit more to the right,
Mhm.
by a couple lengths. Almost seemed like it would have been a manager's office or something like that.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to the door and I'm gonna knock on the door.
Who is it?
I come bearing gifts.
All right, come on in.
I open the door.
You are greeted into what's not what you thought it was. This is actually a stairwell. You have a gruff-looking dwarf sitting on a stool by the door, looking up. Don't think I've ever seen you before. What's your business here?
Well, as I said, I come bearing gifts, but also a message.
Is it from one of the other houses? Yeah, I don't even care. Boss is downstairs.
Very well, thank you. I continue down the stairs.
Alrighty. It's about a flight and a half. A little bit lower than you thought it would go.
Mhm.
But stonework, wooden stairs. You walk down. You make it all the way to the bottom. This opens up into a much larger cavern. Inside of this cavern, you can see a secondary bar with a cluster of 6 or 7 tables, one central one. And off to the right, you see a man in brilliant red robes, with scrolling of gold and shimmering purple runes aligning it. His hands, every finger has a ring on it. Some gems the size of your knuckle, all different colors. A couple repeating rubies, some sapphires from a look. A beautifully adorned necklace that has many gems encrusted into it. It is, again, gold in lavish pattern weave worked into each other to almost display a dragon roaring, with different colored gems to initiate the dragon itself and the fire breath it is spitting out. It is a beautiful red dragon. And there you can see him sitting at his chair, talking to a couple of people around him. I turn on my camera for this. You see him talking like this with whoever he's talking with. He leans forward, both hands in front of his face, so people cannot read his lips. He's speaking softly, you cannot hear anything. But he's across the room. He locks eyes with you as you walk down the stairs, and tilts slowly back to his conversation. In this room, it is relatively open. You weren't sure if you went down 2 or 3 flights of stairs, but when you look up, you can see a secondary level above the bar. So it's almost got a halo rim around it of rooms and different places that you can get to at the second level. Few people, though. Having conversation, keeping friendly. You see a halfling and an elven man kind of joking around with each other, seeming to be buddies of old. And you see in the other corner a few different locations of. Um, you can't quite tell their hoods are up, but they're humanoid figures. Also seem to be very closed off, but in some kind of chatter.
Oh.
The one thing is, you came by yourself. Your friends are still at the bar eating.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Jake, for shits and gigs, roll me another Constitution check.
Me?
Yep. You're probably about
Con-
3/4 of the way done with that jug.
Can't Toblin hear me from a distance?
12.
12, you say?
12.
Ooh.
What do you mean hear you from a distance?
I thought like you had like superior hearing or some shit like that.
No, I have keen mind,
Uh,
which lets me retain information for 3 months.
damn it.
And it's a lot of information because
So if you tell him, he'll only remember for 3 months.
I just thought like if I yelled you could hear me clearly.
well, that it's kind of the reason why I keep taking notes. Like, hold on, I'll show you.
Let's pull that up.
Look at that.
Jake,
Look at that.
But
as you're sitting at the bar, your lips go from a little bit numb to almost this tingly, prickling sensation, and it follows all the way down your throat, and it hits your gut, and it's like a punch right into the uh, essentially liver. You just kind of wince in pain a little bit. You
oh,
take 2 points of poison damage.
never felt this before. It's been a while since something's knocked me off of my feet like this.
The bartender just looks over, laughs, like, "Well, that is one of our best drinks. It's called
You should
the
be very proud about it.
Spider's Kiss. Enjoy." Made with real venom. It's made with real venom to give it that extra kick and flavor.
Hmm.
All right. So
Jake's
now,
gonna get toasted.
He already is toasted.
My intelligence is 5, so I do not connect the dots.
But listen here, he's not nearly as toasted as I am right now. All this bread.
bread.
This motherfucking bread.
All right. So you're downstairs. What would you like to do?
Boy, oh boy, what would I want to do? So I didn't expect Skywatcher to, but like Toblin didn't notice me going through the door as I went down.
I think he did, but he was busy going. Just destroying bread. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Wrecking that bread.
Okay.
All the jellies and jams and butter. Just
Everywhere.
Do I have any?
So you kind of stand there as you're kind of taking a glance around the room, and you see the gentleman dressed in the robes, kind of tossed back, silvered but still dark hair. It's kind of different, but it glimmers in the light. He looks over, nods at the people he's talking with, and looks back over at you and makes eye contact. Waves you forward.
Alright, I do as I'm told. But I'm also on guard, just in case.
Okay. So you walk up to this fine-looking gentleman, and you hear him say, "Hello. I don't think I've seen your type in my establishment before. Are you coming looking for work from another guild? what can we do for you today?
In the conversation that I had with the woman at the market, did she say how many people I had to say I come bearing gifts to?
You rolled a 78, so it was just to get in. It was
Okay.
to get in the door to show that you were a member.
Okay. I'm not looking for work per se. I've actually come with a message.
With a message. To whom am I speaking to?
Like they wouldn't know my name. My name is Norvar of I forget my town name. Fuck. I'm not gonna look that up. We'll go back quick.
This shit's getting complicated.
Oh, it's all sorts of complicated, let me tell you.
Yes, let's use our real names when dealing with the mafia.
Free James Bond or Bond? James Bond.
My backstory.
Spy, if you can't tell people that you're a spy.
Hmm?
Out of character, Ryan, they would not know that my name is Noriver at this point.
Fair enough. Still, ballsy.
Oh yeah, I am Norvar of Godbury, and I come bearing a message for an organization known as the Class.
You're in here, so are you not clasp yourself?
Sort of,
Abort,
kind
abort.
of. I do have relations with the Class, but I'm not directly involved in the guild.
Who's this message from? Is it someone I would recognize from our guild?
I'm not sure if he would be known throughout the guilds, but it comes from a man called the Mad Hatter.
This gains a little bit at you and narrows the eyes a bit. I can't say that I can recall that name. But if you're here only to give a message, well, whom is it to address? Is it everyone, or did you want to speak to someone like me who is in a position of leadership in this location?
I'm sure the higher up I go, the easier it will be.
Well, you're speaking to the right person. If you're not really affiliated with us directly, but one of our package boys, a message runner, I think it's best that you ought to know who I am. I am Hecklish Shoremain. I am the leader of this particular establishment. Be careful. Make one false move, and well, he lifts his hands up, smirks and points up. At this point, you look up, and you see a team of 15 individuals, crossbows drawn, coming out from the shadow, aiming directly down at you.
They all miss.
The hands go back up. So, I take it you are going to deliver the message and leave, then. Am I correct in assuming so?
Yes, although if I may ask, if I do indeed need to return with any more messages, I may be allowed to relay them to you, correct?
As long as you don't betray the rules of the class, you're free to enter.
Of course. The message that I must bring to you from the Mad Hatter is that he is coming.
Means that's supposed to mean anything.
Well, if you are directly involved with the clasp, you would know that the Mad Hatter is their greatest enemy. You see, the Mad Hatter is on a rampage to clear out the clasp, and I'm glad I got here before
Moment.
he did.
I don't know if you
What?
have your video. I don't know if you have your video up, but at this moment he raises his hand, holds
Your
up one
video
finger.
froze in Discord.
Well,
I can see you just
on
fine.
mine it's not. So, he holds up a hand, one finger up, two fingers, and then down. At this point, two bolts cross in front of you and stick in the ground as an X. I think you best ought to know that if you're working for a said individual, we don't take kindly to threats. We can figure out and find out just about anything. We are many,
I'm not.
and this message of yours.
Well, I'm not here for threats. I'm here for signs of warning. You will come, and as strong as you say that you are, it may not end well for you.
Welcome to try. Well, is that the only message you have? Because I think our business is concluding. I have other matters to attend to.
Yes, I am quite finished. Good day to you.
And a good one to you as well. Mind the door on your way out, lest it hit you on the route.
As I leave, I want to count how many people there were in the room again, including the guys with the crossbows.
Andrew is currently counting.
Okay.
The whole head image in my head, so I'm counting them right now.
Mhm.
Rough count from your quick kind of glances over. About 42. Just in that area.
Big fucking basement.
It is a big area. It's almost like they smuggle things and have a crew to protect things. 15 people were around the archway up top. The rest were smattering, and actually it wouldn't be 42, it would have been 36, because there's not as many tables. Each table had about 3 people at it. A couple here had 4, one had 2. So it averaged out the 6 tables being full, and the person there, and the bartender, and the couple of wenches that were going around handing out drinks and food. About 36 people.
Did we ever come up with a name for the leader of the class?
It was a leader of the Kaimo class that ran you out of your town from your history. So you have only known him as the gentleman.
Okay.
No, that's lame. That's lame. No. I was gonna give you his real name, but I figured it's.
I probably wouldn't know him by his real name.
Yeah, you just knew he was in charge. You were working through underlings and underbosses.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have the image of said person from the other night.
Wait, so I don't have a name?
Can you read my notes?
I want to make sure that I don't have anything in my backstory for that.
So this was
He
just
was-
a chance
he was-
for
he was
Kurt
known-
to drop his stones out.
You only heard him referred to as Ryan.
Wine. Um.
He signed a
Okay.
lot of the letters.
Yeah.
ZR.
Um. Right before I leave, I turn around and say, "I do have one more question. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a forgetful individual. I don't know how I'm a courier. Does a man by the name of Ryan ever come through here?"
He looks back over to you as he's in the middle of another conversation and looks up and says, I believe you should know that every piece of information has its value. We were done with our transaction, unless you seek to spark another. He looks off at you.
Oh, why, yes, of course.
Why then? For information like that, we'll have to put you to work. Are you free for a job?
Well, I don't think I'm going anywhere soon.
All
Huh.
right. He turns to you and says, one second. Looks back over to his conversation and again in a hushed voice continues it and nods and sends them off on their way. Well, since come forth,
I move towards the table.
he lowers his hands for this conversation to look you dead in the eyes. If you're truly interested in information and what it can get you, we're gonna need you to perform a task for us. There's a certain item that we were contracted to retrieve. Apparently it was signed upon, but never picked up. We wish to free it of its current location and liberate it to a new party. Can you do this?
Of course.
Alright. We will need you to go to the location of where it is. It is an item of magic design. Left. To Gilmore's Glorious Goods. It was assigned upon by a one Fabius Copperfeld. Ah, no. No, don't fall. Man. Oh, sorry, lost my page. Ring is of silver design with a heart encrusted ruby design on the top. This particular ring is enchanted. It is behind a lockbox. It's worth a great deal of money. We wish to procure it and provide it to a new home. As the aforementioned Fabius probably won't be able to pick it up anytime soon.
So just so I remember, it's Fabius Copperfeld?
Yep.
Okay.
Feld.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, I can get that item for you.
Ring. Your cut will be 300 gold. And an answer. Sound fair enough for services rendered?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Fantastic. Be seeing you.
Of course. Alright, now I really leave.
Alright, you walk back up the stairs, and it's at this point, as you're walking up, you notice that the chattering mostly stopped and kind of looked back up at you. And you can see the halfling and, the dwarf and the elf that were sitting at one table. The halfling, and a few others that are cloaks pulled over, dark exteriors, kind of just look over at you and watch you leave slowly through the tavern. And from there, you head up and out. Seems to be the end of it.
Alright, I head up the stairs.
Alright, so you walk back in to the main tavern floor, shifting open the door and slowly making your way out and back to the table where your friends are. You see Auken kind of finishing up his jug, and it's just about empty. A little bit green in the face, but overall seems to be enjoying what he had. And of course, your friend has finished his loaf, and notice you left part of yours up, and I'm sure is going after that. Am I right?
No, I save him like a very small chunk, but the small chunk has all of the jellies and the butter on it. So the last of it is just like this concoction of mixed fluids placed on top of the bread, and I'm just like leaned back, patting my belly, just ah.
And that's what you see.
I'm gonna rush over to Toblin and be like, my feathered friend, I need you to remember. Do I know Toblin's name?
Nobody knows Tolan's name.
Nobody
Okay.
knows his name.
I've never been able to say it.
That's what I figured. Alright. My feathered friend, I need you to remember a name for me.
What?
I need you to remember a Fabius Copperfeld.
I nod.
Alright, very good. Where's our giant friend?
I point at the Goliath, who I'm assuming is laid out in the middle of the bar.
Oh, no. It was only a pitcher. About it's like 2 pitchers worth.
But he was in
His
pain.
weight, yeah, he took 2 points of damage. He didn't really know what was going on. He's got a high constitution, but he's finished his beers. He's definitely feeling a little buzzed, more than likely.
Are we can we be sitting next to each other?
Yes.
In that case, like a very redundant question, but I'm just patting his leg, just like, good job. We did it. We consumed today.
And say, gentlemen, we have a job to do. We need to do it swiftly.
Back.
I'm also in my head right now, thinking, maybe a bloodbath is not the solution to everything.
In my head, I'm thinking,
Considering
finally, a bloodbath.
we must retrieve an item from Glorious Goods. What was the name of that place?
Most glorious good.
I was hoping one of them would answer, but okay. Gilmore's Glorious Goods. We need to go. We need to go there and retrieve an item.
Just kind of shrug it. All right.
Yeet.
All right. I start to head out of the bar.
Your way back into the city, and as you're on your journey, I'm gonna go ahead and ask Isaac, Chorla, did you guys want to do anything while you were in the temple?
Why?
I'm just,
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna let Torla pay his respects because then I've got to go see the goddess temple and pay my respects there.
I'll say that Torla, you've finished giving your respects, and you're heading over to the temple in Melora.
Yeah. Following Isaac.
Okay. As you're heading over to the temple to Melora, the Wild Mother, you can see people concerned, almost kind of hurrying about and asking things around after something must have happened over here. You're not quite sure what, but you're heading on over anyway.
I do my best to observe what's going on as I get closer.
Roll in, I believe that's perception check.
Yeah.
Hit perception.
Let's see, 13 plus. That is 17 with bonuses.
What bonuses? So you can see a couple of priestesses lined up in the garb of Melora and the garb of. Ooh, I just had it open and I closed it like a fool. The leaders of what is known as the Everlight. Kind of circling about each other and head off into the temple of the Wild Mother. There seems to be communication between the two. They both look worried and concerned, and that's pretty much all you can understand from where you are walking in. As you get closer, you can see that people are starting to gather and ask questions. You can overhear them. Is it true? Did they find another body? It can't be. Is it really true? Hush, we're not supposed to talk about this here. But we need to know. Are we safe? Is it safe? What's going on? People are talking back and forth, and it seems to always be the same conversation. What caused this? As you come up to the temple of the Wild Mother, hello. We aren't taking visitors today. We're handling a small bit of a situation. The Wild Mother thanks you for your presence, but you do not need to be here if you do not wish it.
Would you consider turning away help? I point over at the paladin, and then I introduce myself.
We always welcome aid when given, as our goddess instructs us, but don't necessarily want to get you wrapped in something if you don't feel like you're up to it. But you're welcome to take a look. It looks like you're an adventurer of sorts. I see you carry a couple of weapons and armor. Nice. That was well brought
I
up.
hear a random belch in the back of the courtyard,
I
and then I
didn't-
turn my head back.
I
to
wasn't even anywhere near my microphone when that happened.
it.
Good
That
job.
was well brought up, bud. Too bad you weren't.
Wow.
Critical strike.
Uh, so you're in the location, and she said this. Do you wish to try and offer some aid? We've asked for the uh, the arms of the king to assist us with this matter, but it seems it's falling on deaf ears as they're taking all their time trying to keep the people safe.
Well, I'm certainly willing to try.
Indeed.
All right, well, let us know if you've seen anything like this on your travels. Come with me. Kind of waves over to the sisters and the priests by the main door to let you through, and you all walk in together.
Mhm.
Again, much like the other ones that you've seen, huge pillars, um, crafted. This particular pillars in front of yours is almost like a string of roses and different kinds of flowers scrolling up the sides of the pillar, all the way to the top. At the top, you have a beautiful relief of nature and all its glory and everything you can do. You've got these little rabbits, trees, um, all these different kinds of flora and fauna um, inscribed into this building. There's bright greens, oranges, browns, all the earthly tones worked into the painting in this architecture. In the center, you see instead of a woman, you see the crest. Um, 15 to 20 feet in height of a crook with a laurel of grain and flowers um, scrolling up the crook, uh, centered in the wreath.
Okay.
Vines and everything carving around to be the telltale sign of the Wild Mother.
Mm.
It is beautifully done. There's flora surviving inside of this location. There's potted plants and almost designed to mimic the freedom of nature outside of the palace. There's these little um, areas where it's no longer stone concrete that you're walking on. You're walking on grass. You're one with nature at this location. Up by the center where they like to hold their little masses and sermons, you see a body on a table. Cloth draped over it, and a couple of priests and sisters looking over it, trying to make heads or tail. And it's not just the Wild Mother there. You can see the Everlight there as well.
Mm.
These have been appearing not necessarily in too high a frequency, but enough to spark the ire of others, and I shouldn't say ire. It's more of concern of others.
Mm.
Have you ever seen anything like this? And she takes you over and lifts the sheet off the body, and the body is mangled. It looks as if a pack of wild dogs went to town on this body. You want to roll me an investigation check to review the body?
I will. Okay. Investigation. Intelligence. That's a 15.
From your studies as a child and growing up as part of the Ashari people, you're well familiar with the elements of nature and the beasts that walk the land and how to best understand everything. And reviewing this corpse, you recognize that those teeth weren't made by any ordinary wolf. This was either a large wolf or was something you fear more. This could be a werewolf. There have been,
Hmm.
to this point, the nurse says they've been showing up around the city, typically near uh, points of junction in the city, but it's only been here or there.
This is the first one in the temple.
This is one that was brought to us from the Temple District, yes. It's the first one in our district.
Hmm.
You can see the cloth on the pants of the individual were that of the Everlight.
Remind me again, the Everlight are the priestly order, yes?
Uh, essentially, the commandments of theirs is, lead with mercy, patience, compassion, aid all to those who you can, heal those who are without hope, kind of thing. So,
Hmm.
kind of like that. The angelic kind of styles, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who is in charge of this investigation?
Well, no one is in charge. No, we don't have anyone but ourselves. We only know what we know, where it was found, and we couldn't get any of the guardsmen to help. They're apparently spread too thin as it is.
That would certainly be obvious after what I had to deal with 2 days ago. Um, and as I pause for a moment, and what's going through my mind is, was this the mission that was intended? Um, have you been keeping track of this at all, or has this only been gossip here in town mostly for the last, well, how long has this been going on?
Going on for a couple of weeks now. The first thing that happened was a body like this, torn nearly to shreds, was just assumed wild dogs uh, out in the, let's see, that would be the which district? As I don't have my notes, but I know exactly where you are. Um, it was from the upper slums, more towards the entrance towards the military district. There was speakings of this, but it was found by a sewer grate, so it was just assumed to be um, potentially wild dogs attacking it, eating the decayed flesh. That was something that happened about 3 weeks ago. That was brought up to our attention to pray over. Uh, the other attacks that have happened have been spread out between the military district, the central district, and it it's weird. It doesn't seem like it has a pattern, but it's always the same MO. A body that's nearly torn to shreds. All bite marks like this.
Hmm.
Some are worried that it's potentially a cult using this to disguise their cannibalistic ways. Others fear it might be the rise of lycanthropy, but we're not certain.
Well, okay, this is an out of character question for you and your world specifically. In the world that you have created, is lycanthropy driven purely by the full moon, or is there another cycle with which that is governed?
Nope.
AJ, could you repeat that?
Yep. So it's not governed by the full moon and traditional aspects. Think more underworld. Um, Things do happen on the first of the full moon, but
Hmm.
from your studies, it's something that's a little bit more controllable after things have happened.
Hmm.
They tend to seem to be normal people for the most part, but have been stricken with a disease from surviving either an attack or deliberately engaging in receiving like lycanthropy.
Right.
You've heard of all kinds of different were creatures, so it's not uncommon to hear about them. The most
Bears,
terrifying,
werewolves.
yeah, the most terrifying is werewolves, as they tend to be aggressive and have their own malicious intent.
Hmm.
Uh,
Especially when in their shape, because they can't really control what they do when they're in the shape, depending on the level of lycanthropy and how soon this person has acquired the illness. If I'm remembering correctly. But
and that's what you know.
do you know if anyone might have logged these deaths?
Not that I can think of, just word of mouth.
Hmm. But why a healer? Assuming this is only one being, it would seem rather odd.
We don't know. That's what's frightening. But they're always found in similar spots. The
Nearby a drain or somewhere in the open?
yeah, almost exactly like a drain. It's uh, where the maintenance crew goes into to enter the sewers.
Hmm.
It's always around that area.
So you're
We
going
have
on 2 to 3 weeks. How many bodies have turned up?
3,
Hmm.
at least in this pattern that we've identified. There's about 10 missing people that have been reported, but with what goes on in this city, that's a drop in the bucket. It could be anything: child leaving home and running away to the other side of the city to see a friend, and it's pretty safe here, except for certain areas and individuals.
And the Thieves Guild, who basically runs a whole third of the city?
I wouldn't say they run anything. They help maintain the course. I'm sure you realize that, yes, that we all do not like them being here, but they do have a purpose. Like everything.
I know, I know.
Like the fungus on the trees. Like the...
Cosmic balance.
You cannot starve a spider and yet still expect it to live. There's the Trigun reference for the campaign. Boom.
Yeah. It's okay, there's so many other references in this campaign.
Oh, there will be. There will be. Hmm. I was speaking with somebody just a couple days ago. Let me see if I can get back in touch with them. Could you gather your respective orders? And I'm assuming her body was brought into the temple after you found it, yes?
I gather our orders. Do you mean our priests? And our priestesses? What do you
Whoever may wind up being in charge of your orders here in this city, I have a feeling that if this is somebody specific to their order, it's worth looking into. Of course, there will be people who will demand to know why it wasn't until now that notice was taken, but I'm certain we can do something.
do this all the time? I don't know much of a reason why people would suspect anything, but
Call it me not trusting society.
well, we're really not sure what to do from here. We're just looking for any kind of guidance from our goddess and what we can do and preserve. As we understand that creatures will need to eat, but this seems different. The other attacks, they weren't priests or priestesses. They were ordinary civilians, a merchant, um, a boy that had just come into manhood.
Hmm.
Hmm. Merchant, young man, and a healer.
Either it's somebody who doesn't know how to control it, which supposedly there are those who can, and they're absolutely terrifying warriors. Who's, and they might be looking for help. The other option is it's somebody who is doing this for the thrill. Merchant was an easy mark because they were isolated. A child's relatively easy because they're weak. The priestess is just something they want to do because it makes a point.
So, will you help us?
Certainly. But I hate to say this, if the guards can't figure this out, we might have to. There's somebody who I might be able to get through to get us a degree of personal assistance, but
Well, we were looking to contract mercenaries for this ourselves to look into this. Um, we just didn't know where to go.
Tola, are you in?
Count me in. If there's a beast around, we'll find it.
Well, you've got two, but I wouldn't just grab mercenaries. There wouldn't happen to be any more, well, people like him. And I gesture back at the paladin with my thumb. In this city anymore?
The the Temple of Cord and it's just over there and points to where you guys came from.
Mhm.
But they tend to want to have fights for glories and for battle. This is almost going to be a little different. But you're welcome to invite them. Any help is graciously accepted.
Well, if we can't find them, we're going to need to find some monster hunters if it is a serial killer. Or if it's somebody who genuinely is trying to figure out what their problem is, that's something else completely. But it's one of the two.
I agree.
Well, perhaps me showing up here to pay my respects to the goddess paid off after all.
Hmm.
So perhaps we should pay our friend in the Cloud District a visit. Wait, was it called the Cloud District?
Cloud Top.
The what?
Cloud Top.
Cloud Top. Okay, I was close.
You're close.
Perhaps we should pay our friend in the Cloud Top District a visit. That is, if they'll let us in.
True. And if
Well-
they don't, we'll have to go with backup ideas.
So are we to believe you are champions? Are you going to be handling this for us?
Well,
Tell them that
Call
we're
it-
couriers.
handling it, but if anything from my tribal customs remembers anything, you don't call someone a champion until the job's done.
You should tell them that we're couriers.
I guess you could call us more couriers, considering we wound up here delivering somebody's package. But
There we go.
Line of profession, but we do have some coin that we've saved that we were going to use to spend on a couple of mercenaries and to help us sort this out. But it can go to you should you complete this and solve this for us. Among the three divisions here that handle healing and taking care of everything, we've raised about 500 gold pieces.
I nod slowly.
Thank you again so much for your kindness.
Certainly.
The body was found just over there, and she kind of points over the location near the temple of uh, the Everlight,
Mhm.
and kind of points off to one of the statues that's over by the corner. That is a uh, statue of two angelic figurines holding uh, a red painted sun between the top two of them at the top of their wings, gilded with gold paints and whites to really emphasize uh, the marble white statues.
Hmm.
There's an entrance over there that she was found next to, and she was behind that pillar over there. But please, best of luck in what you find. Try to keep us safe.
Certainly. And keep people away from anywhere there might be any kind of potential clue, if you can. I'd rather not have people walking over any footprints that might be of use, if you follow my meaning.
We can do our best there, but we can't block them entirely. We aren't the police. We can just at least suggest that they don't go in those areas.
Of course, of course. Thank you.
Yes.
Mhm.
She nods and go in peace. May Laura be with you.
And also with you.
I had to work it in there. I had to work it in there somehow.
Oh, good grief.
All right.
Shall we take a look, Master Druid?
We shall. And then
Let's go
afterwards,
then.
we should go see our delivery recipient in the Elora, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
We should go see her when this is done. I have a feeling she might be able to help us.
We shall see if she's willing to let us back in and talk with us.
Her, I don't think will be the problem. It's getting past the guards at the gate.
True.
At any rate, come.
Yes.
Alright, so we approached the area where the body was found. Would you like me to roll a new investigation check for crime scene part 2?
Like to ask the other group, as they would be.
Should I start talking with them?
I would ask them if they're close to being on their way back to where they were. Were you guys going? Were you guys going to go through the temple district and meet up with them again? What was your plan there?
I think that's up to Norvar. We were following him.
Anthony's on mute, so Norvar, if you can hear us.
Microphone's muted. Yeah, we can meet up with them again.
Okay. So as they're wrapping up in the temples, you're walking up to them, and you can see some kind of commotion as they're being pointed over and guided over to one of the other temples. It's when you lock eyes with Isaac.
Oh,
Oh, I have something that I can say here, don't I?
Oh no.
Red foot.
I don't think. Oh, Steve. You seem like a fancy boy.
I shake my head. Now's not the time for jokes, but how did things go?
I do the ice pillar shattering sound.
We are on the well, we got a job.
Oh, wonderful.
Fairly easy one at that.
Well, I guess you could say we do too.
Indeed.
Well, then perhaps we could complete each job together. Strength in numbers.
Mhm.
I don't see why not, but what's yours? I'm just signed us up to solve a murder.
We are delivering a package from. Well, we have to pick it up and then we have to deliver it. So.
Question for the DM. Did I hear the sound that the horse made when it was punched?
Yeah, you did.
Can I make that sound right now?
Oh no.
Yep. Yes, you do.
Perfect, thank you.
Oh boy.
So at this point, a few people that are walking by just kind of shockingly look over and see you. Really confused.
I do like that nod and wave, like, hey.
They kind of meekly wave back and go about their business.
That's exactly what I want.
Disturbed, but continue to do what they want.
Perfect.
Well, but yes, I don't want to share any more details here yet, but there are a few more places I need to check around here before moving on, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, or where do you need to pick up what you need to pick up?
Gilmore's Glorious Goods. I think we visited there before.
Yes.
Oh, good grief.
Well, I didn't introduce us as couriers the last time, and if all five of us walked back in there again now, I have a feeling they try to pitch us something. So if you do wish to, well, deliver whatever you need to deliver, and if I'm assuming somebody's involved with some kind of an unsavory character, perhaps it might be best if a paladin and a druid don't show up.
I would agree. I have enough trouble without unsavory business standing myself.
Well, not the business, but more likely, I don't want the bird to get stabbed.
Chicken?
Or turned into a roast chicken.
Why are we of the opinion that this is unsavory? The bard gave his word and we're honoring an agreement.
You don't know that.
I mean, I know that he got us a job.
This is true. Well, the choice is yours, but I just fear that whomever we might be delivering this to wouldn't exactly be happy if he saw me, show up. But that's your call. We're going to need to see Allura again to figure out what the hell we're doing here with this.
You show up to my thing, or us show up to yours?
If we show up to your thing.
Oh. Yes and no. I mean, I don't think it would be too much of concern. There's nothing that needs to be paid for. It's just pick up and then delivery.
Alright, well. Tell you what, I look back at what is probably a fairly trampled crime scene.
Most definitely.
Torla, before this gets any worse, you go with them to pick up the item, figure out where it needs to be delivered, and then all of you come back and see me, because I need to see Allura at some point wherever we wind up going.
Alrighty.
Is
You
that
think
fair
you'll
to
be
everyone?
Yeah.
You gonna be fine by yourself, Master Druid?
Should be fine enough.
Very
Whatever
well.
the thing is that's killing people right now isn't here yet.
Fair enough. Stay on guard.
Of course.
All right, let's go.
And we're walking.
Oh, I lost my pencil somewhere, so I'm gonna have to write in pen. Damn.
I write everything in pen.
Now it can never be changed.
Never be changed. Alright. That's not working, so I'm going for the other pen. There you are. Get over here.
Same.
I really have to pee.
So do it.
All
Do
right,
it.
I just did.
Fantastic.
Like right now?
And while you're using the bathroom, if you don't want to miss anything, you can pull the stream up.
We could also take a break.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I can only really play until 10 anyway, but we could either take a break or I don't know.
End early.
And early, this is a good place before we split the party and get a couple of things done, or it's up to you guys though. I can keep going.
I mean, this
well,
does seem
I
like a
have
pretty
work
good.
tomorrow, so I know I gotta be up earlier than usual. So
Yeah. And
if we end early, I won't be against it. But if we keep going, I will have to drop out at some point.
It's like 10 would be the hard cutoff if we kept going, but if we need to stop, just let me know.
Well-
I'd say this is probably the best endpoint we'll get within the next 30 minutes. Would anyone be opposed to ending early this evening and then we continue from here next session?
my thought is that, I mean, we can just do 2-hour sessions. I mean, 3 hours is pretty long, and we get quite burnt out, especially if we're doing them on Thursdays now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So-
already brain dead as it is.
2 hours is a fine length of time, and we're about to hit that. So
We can go ahead and call it here then, as our adventurers have found themselves with a couple of things to do in the city. So I'm just writing down my version of notes. So I have my recap.
Found the big brain anime villain bad guys.
The BBEG.
Yeah.
oh,
The BGB KGB.
so I'm gonna show you guys like
Russia.
I'm gonna show you guys everything I have for notes. So
Uh-oh.
if you want to look at the Discord, whatever.
Yeah.
So I have this little book. It's called
Very nice.
the fat little fat book, and this has all of the Toblin quotes in it.
Awesome.
So I'm at 3 pages, I think.
Only 3.
And then over here, this is a
Sound effect.
5 subject notebook because I figured it's going to be a long campaign. And that was the first couple of sessions.
Oh, good grief.
And this is the next couple.
Oh, boy.
So when it comes to, like, you know, when AJ said that they were traveling west, and I was like, no, they're traveling north. It's because I'm taking better notes than AJ, and he wrote it.
That is correct.
That's unfortunate.
You,
It doesn't
sir, are
have to
technically
get
correct. The best kind of correct.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta remember it. I've gotta be in character.
I
Get that keen mind.
Yeah.
Now you have a keen book mind as well.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's There's
I will
times when we go
freely
like 3 weeks
admit,
without a thing.
you mentioning that Futurama quote, the bureaucrat song has become my theme song for work.
Oh no.
I mean, it's probably one of the better ones, but I have never related more to a character in a comedy series than Hermes, I guess.
See you in the next one.
Oh,
I don't
boy.
know when we're gonna do the next one. Maybe next week, Thursday, or is that still up for debate?
I am free next Thursday.
Sounds work for me. So
Give me one sec. My phone is giving me trouble
No worries.
because I
I
have my
mean,
schedule on here. I'll be able to find out.
I'm just trying to let Stream know when they can.
I can be available.
Yeah. So I think 7:30 to 9:30 is a perfect time
Yeah, I would agree.
because it's not too
And
late.
because they're streaming over YouTube, the videos will be there to watch after, right?
I mean, they were there from Twitch as well, but yes, they
Okay.
are archived automatically, and since they're saved to YouTube, I don't have to worry about them being deleted.
Splendid.
Unlike on Twitch, where I needed to highlight the whole thing because I'm not affiliated yet, so I don't have infinite time highlights or playbacks. But if it's on YouTube, I do.
Hey.
Shout
Ew.
out. Glad you-
Mm.
So feel free to go back and watch this if you'd like, and if you missed it, you can watch it on YouTube, and there's going to be another one next week. So yeah,
Bye-bye.
well bye.
Yep, bye bye.
next time. Bye.